Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Before we start, subscribe and share the video. Today, I'm bringing you news that has shaken the celebrity gossip world. Yaman broke his silence and dropped a line that left everyone stunned. Sara is not as innocent as she seems. After months without a word, the actor spoke in a special interview following an intense filming schedule in Italy. At first, he seemed calm, distant, almost as if he were weighing every sentence. But as soon as the topic of Sara Bloom came up, everything changed. His tone hardened, and his gaze, according to those present, became much colder. Yaman explained that he decided to speak because the people closest to him urged him to stop staying quiet. He said, more or less, that he never liked exposing his private life, but that continuing to remain silent would have meant betraying himself. At first, it was perfect, and then everything went wrong. He recalled the early moments with Sara as a bright period. He felt understood, valued, excited, as if something new had entered his life. But that image didn't last long. Over time, he said, changes appeared that affected him deeply. And he left a reflection that is now circulating everywhere. Sooner or later, he said, people's true nature comes out. Innocence was a mask. The most controversial part came when he described the gap between what people saw from the outside and what he lived inside the relationship. According to Yaman, Sara projected an image of fragility and victimhood, but he ultimately became convinced it wasn't real, more like a facade. That line immediately trended on social media and split fans in two. Some flooded him with support. Others criticized him for making something so intimate public. The breaking point: distrust and isolation. For him, the point of no return was losing trust. He said he started living in a loop of explanations, questions, and doubts. Something that, in his words, went against his nature. There are even comments that he isolated himself at work, shutting himself in and distancing from people. He summed it up with a very clear idea. Work kept me going. He also hinted that his family saw it coming. Without naming details, he admitted he regrets not listening earlier to certain warnings because, he said, his family always wanted what was best for him. An unexpected mention, Demet Özdemir, and a message that fueled rumors. Another moment that sparked talk was when the name Demet Özdemir came up. He spoke with a more mature, almost nostalgic tone. He said that sometimes you understand someone's value only after you've lost them, and that it's a painful but real lesson. And of course, one question exploded online: is there a chance of a reunion? He confirmed nothing, but he didn't shut the door either. He did acknowledge, though, that he also made mistakes, making it clear that no relationship is a one-sided story. So, what happens now with Sara Bloom? After these statements, all attention shifted to Sara. For now, according to people close to her, she doesn't want to speak about it, though it's rumored she may release a full statement in the coming days. Meanwhile, there are whispers that she's reducing her public activity, staying within her closest circle, and feeling very uncomfortable with what Yaman said, because she sees it as a partial, biased version of events. Yaman's closing: career, calm, and a new phase. At the end of the interview, Yaman stressed that he now wants to be known for his work rather than his love life. He talked about new projects and international goals, and ended with a phrase that sounds like a personal conclusion: love comes and goes, but inner peace is what remains. And here's the big question: who will have the last word? Will Sara Bloom speak and share her version? Or will Can Yaman return to total silence after already dropping this bomb? If you want, in the next video, I can tell you which reactions are dominating social media and what the press is saying about Can Yaman's possible before and after. Reading these comments about the situation between Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir, it's clear to me that a huge amount of noise has been built around them, often more emotional than real. I see many people fed up with what they perceive as invented stories. More lies, lies, and lies, only lies, and honestly, I feel the same. Part of what's circulating seems designed to feed curiosity and keep an audience hooked. People who want to believe in a romantic or scandalous storyline, even when there are no solid facts behind it. That said, focusing on Can Yaman, what stands out most to me is how the same criticism keeps repeating about the way he behaves publicly. Some comments accuse him of making a mess in front of everyone, of having very low jokes, and even call certain remarks deplorable. I don't know exactly what was said or in what context, but my impression is that Can sometimes gets himself into trouble because of the persona he projects. Direct, provocative, someone who plays with media attention. And that game can be expensive, because when you're that exposed, any slip gets interpreted as disrespect and the public reacts harshly. I also notice a strong contrast. On one side, people accuse him of having treated Demet badly and say he doesn't deserve her. On the other, there are those convinced there was, or still is, a real, deep, eternal love, and that their eyes spoke. Personally, I distrust absolute certainty in something so private. It seems more realistic that there was chemistry and a story that the public idealized, and then each person moved on. The issue is that Can's intense public image makes people see him as the inevitable lead of a big romantic drama, turning every move he makes into fuel for theories. And on the question of why he didn't take the chance before someone else came into his life, I see it this way. People talk as if relationships were simple choices, like catching a train before the doors close. But life doesn't work like that. Still, I understand the emotional point. People demand consistency, maturity, and respect from Can, especially if something meaningful with Demet is assumed. That's why, if he wants to protect his image, the best move would be to lower the tone, avoid ambiguous jokes, and stop feeding the circus. Because in the end, the damage isn't only to her or to the fans, it's to him, his credibility, and the way everything he says or does gets interpreted.